The air reeked of despair, stale sweat, and something vaguely metallic that Louisa couldn't quite place. The hum of the prison ship sentences lament vibrated through her boots, a constant thrumming reminder of the steel cage that surrounded them. This was not your typical archaeological dig, right? The doctor boomed, his bolo tie slightly askew as he surveyed the crowded holding bay. So, a delightful selection of galactic ne'er-do-wells, all packed in like sentient sardines. Lovely. Louisa, ever the pragmatist, frowned. Lovely isn't exactly the word that springs to mind, Doctor. More like claustrophobic and potentially volatile. He grinned, a flash of teeth in the dim light. Precisely. Fertile ground for adventure, my dear Louisa. And look who's come to join the party. A rhythmic thudding echoed through the bay, growing louder with each second. Then they saw them. Two towering Judoon, their rhino-like faces impassive behind their helmets. Their plasma rifles, held with unwavering precision, added another layer of menace to the already charged atmosphere. Judoon. Present. One of them bellowed, the sound reverberating off the metal walls. The prisoners, a motley collection of species with varying degrees of visible menace, instinctively recalled. Judoon. Acting under intergalactic law to maintain security protocols. The second Judoon spoke with the same monotonous cadence. Outbreak detected within ship jurisdiction. Assistance required. The doctor stepped forward, his sonic screwdriver already in hand. Outbreak? What sort of outbreak? Something nasty, I presume unknown. Pathogen. Initial symptoms include delirium, irrational behavior, violent tendencies. Charming, Louisa muttered. Just what we needed. The Judoon ignored her. You are Diahu and Louisa Harcourt, historical associates with intergalactic police force, temporarily deputized to assist Judoon in containment efforts. The doctor beamed. Deputized. Excellent. I haven't been deputized since that unfortunate incident with the sentient pot plants on planet Florax. Right, Louisa. Let's earn our stripes. Louisa sighed. Stripes. Or rather, potential Judoon plasma burns. This was going to be a long day. The Judoon, with their predictable efficiency, had already begun to section off the infected prisoners. The quarantine zone was a chaotic mix of groans, shouting, and the occasional guttural roar. The doctor scanned the affected individuals with his sonic screwdriver, a furrow creasing his brow. This is odd, he said, his voice thoughtful. The pathogen itself is untraceable. It seems to be piggybacking on existing neural pathways. But what's causing these symptoms? Louisa observed a particularly agitated prisoner, a reptilian creature with glowing red eyes, ranting incoherently. He's talking gibberish. Something about winning the lottery and being betrayed by a talking cat. Gibberish. Indeed, the doctor agreed. He turned to one of the Judoon. Has anyone attempted to analyze the ship's systems, its logs? Find the source of this outbreak. Attempted sabotage detected within ships computer systems. Data corrupted. Navigation offline. Ship adrift. Adrift, Louisa exclaimed. In the middle of space? Where are we drifting? Before the Judoon could answer, a loud alarm blared throughout the ship. A robotic voice, tinny and distorted, crackled over the intercom. Attention all passengers. This is your captain speaking. Sort of. Fancy a tasty treat? Get your hot dogs here. Only 3 credits apiece. And don't forget to tune in tonight for the Benny Hill Show, a classic of British television. The doctor stared at the intercom, aghast. Hot dogs? Benny Hill? What in the name of Gallifrey is going on then? Another warning siren sounded, accompanied by a shudder that ran through the entire ship. Meteoroid impact, the Judoon announced. Hull compromised. Multiple breaches reported. Louisa grabbed onto a nearby railing as the ship lurched violently. Meteors? Sabotage? Infected prisoners? This is turning into a galactic disaster movie. The doctor, however, was already moving towards the ship's computer terminal, a spark of understanding in his eyes. I think, Louisa, that we're dealing with something far more insidious than a simple outbreak. This isn't just a virus. It's a cultural contamination. The ship's computer room was a scene of digital chaos. Screens flickered with static, displaying random images of grinning hot dog vendors and clips from various, seemingly innocuous, television shows. The doctor tapped furiously at the keyboard, attempting to bypass the corrupted systems. "This is unlike anything I've ever seen," he muttered. "The system is flooded with subliminal messaging, cultural memes, all hijacking the processing power. It's as if someone has turned the ship's computer into a giant advertising billboard." Louisa, armed with a fire extinguisher, was battling a small electrical fire that had erupted near the main console. "Advertising billboard that's trying to kill us. Any idea what's causing this?" "I'm calling it electroform," the doctor replied, his fingers flying across the keyboard. "A sentient energy entity, capable of manipulating technology and spreading its influence through cultural contamination. Think of it as a digital virus with a penchant for terrestrial entertainment." Suddenly, the screens flickered again, this time displaying a static image of a menacing figure composed of pure energy. A synthesized voice boomed through the room. "Greetings, meatbags. Welcome to the electroform experience. Enjoy your stay forever." The energy figure lunged towards the screen, and a wave of static washed over the room. Louisa yelped as she felt a jolt of electricity pass through her. "Doctor," she cried, clutching her head. "I feel strange. I keep thinking about curried chips." And reciting the theme tune to Dallas, the doctor paled. "The electroform is spreading. It's infecting our minds, our memories. We have to sever the connection. We need a firewall." The doctor, fueled by caffeine and sheer force of will, worked frantically to create a counter-program, a firewall to block the electroform's insidious influence. He spliced together code from various alien databases, patching and bypassing corrupted systems with a speed that would make a Borg blush. Meanwhile, Louisa, battling the growing urge to sing the entire theme song to the Rockford Files, ventured back to the holding bay. The situation had deteriorated rapidly. The infected prisoners were now chanting advertising slogans and reenacting scenes from classic sitcoms, their movements jerky and disjointed. A full-scale jailbreak was underway, fueled by the electroform's chaos. The Judoon, hampered by their limited flexibility and susceptibility to the cultural contamination, were struggling to maintain order. One of them was even humming the theme tune to MASH. Louisa knew she had to do something. She grabbed a discarded stun baton from a fallen guard and plunged into the fray. Ignoring the incessant mental bombardment of advertising jingles, she fought her way through the crowd, stunning prisoners left and right. "Get back in your cell," she yelled, her voice hoarse. "This isn't a holiday camp. It's a prison ship infected with a homicidal television schedule from hell." The doctor, meanwhile, finally managed to upload his firewall. The screens flickered, the static subsided, and the menacing energy figure vanished. "It's working," he shouted over the intercom. "The firewall is in place. But it's only temporary. We need to find the electroform source, its point of entry into the ship's systems. And fast." Following the residual energy trail, the doctor and Louisa, accompanied by the remaining Judoon, traced the electroform back to a small, unassuming storage room in the ship's lower decks. Inside, they found a strange, pulsating device, humming with raw energy. "This is it," the doctor said, pointing his sonic screwdriver at the device. "The electroform's point of origin. Some kind of interdimensional conduit. It's pulling these cultural memes from across time and space, weaponizing them, and spreading them throughout the ship." Suddenly, the room filled with the electroform's synthesized voice. "So, the doctor has arrived. I've been expecting you. Join the electroform experience. It's fun for the whole family. You'll love it. I guarantee it." The energy figure reappeared, this time solidifying into a humanoid form composed of flickering images and distorted sounds. It lunged at the doctor, a whirlwind of television static and advertising slogans. The doctor dodged the attack, pulling a small device from his pocket. "I think it's time for a little counter-programming." He activated the device, which emitted a high-pitched frequency that disrupted the electroform's energy field. The energy figure recalled, screaming in digital agony. "What is this? You can't stop me. I am the future of entertainment. I am." The ratings. Louisa, seizing the opportunity, charged at the device with the stun baton, smashing it into pieces. The room went silent. The electroform's figure flickered and dissolved, its synthesized voice fading into oblivion. With the electroform vanquished and the ship's systems slowly returning to normal, the chaos began to subside. The infected prisoners, their minds purged of the cultural contamination, were resecured. The Judoon, their theme tune humming replaced with their usual stoic pronouncements, resumed their duties. Judoon, appreciate, assistance, situation, contained, intergalactic, justice, served. The doctor dusted off his bolo tie. Glad to be of service. Just doing our part to keep the galaxy safe from homicidal advertising campaigns. Louisa leaned against the wall, exhausted but relieved. So, what happens now? Are we stuck on this rust bucket? Not at all, the doctor said, his eyes twinkling. The ship's navigational systems are still a bit wonky, but I've managed to reroute a signal to the nearest spaceboat. We should be arriving shortly, and perhaps after that, we can find somewhere that doesn't serve hot dogs. As the sentence's lament limped its way towards salvation, Louisa couldn't help but smile. Another adventure, another alien threat averted. The doctor's life was never dull, that was for sure, but sometimes, she just wished he'd picked destinations that didn't involve rampant consumerism and sentient television schedules gone bad. Maybe their next trip could be to a quiet, peaceful planet, with nothing but sunshine and... She stopped herself. She knew better. If the doctor was involved, peace and quiet were the last things she should expect. And deep down, she wouldn't have it any other way.